Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay. And Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden.
It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks, under the direction of Al Lewis. Well, running a high school is usually a difficult task. But Osgood Conklin, principal of Madison High, where Our Miss Brooks teaches English, somehow manages to make it seem even harder.
Last week, for instance, it was his anti-gambling crusade. Friday morning at breakfast, I discussed the situation with my landlady.
But I didn't think gambling was such a big problem at Madison, Connie.
It isn't, Mrs. Davis. But Mr. Stone, head of the Board of Education, is cooperating with the DA's office in a county-wide drive against gambling. Naturally, Mr. Conklin hopped on the bandwagon. He's instituted some pretty sweeping reforms in our school.
Like what, Connie?
Like taking the gum machine out of the cafeteria. Plus which he deputized me to stamp out penny matching.
Did you encounter any in your class, Connie?
Well, there were a couple of kids matching pennies in the coat closet during a study period, but it only went on for about 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Didn't you stop them, Connie?
Oh, of course I stopped them immediately. May I never get my 55 cents back if I didn't.
Well, you're not the only teacher at Madison. Why didn't you get Mr. Boynton to help you out?
I did. The next 2 times I investigated that coat closet, I took Mr. Boynton with me.
And did you find anyone?
Gee, I forgot to look. Well, if you'll excuse me now, Mrs. Davis, I'd better get ready for school. Walter Denton's picking me up in a few minutes.
All right, dear. Oh, before you go, would you do me a favor, Connie? Take this $5 and pay my phone bill this afternoon. I'd send it in, but frankly, I'm afraid it's just about overdue. Me and that absent mind of mine.
You are quite a pair. Don't worry about it, Mrs. Davis. I'll take it in to the company today. Mr. Conklin was in the same predicament a couple of weeks ago. He asked me to attend to the school phone bill for him.
But I thought the Board of Education took care of school bills.
They do, but this one was an emergency. It seems the auditor in charge of the funds took an unexpected vacation.
An unexpected vacation?
As the head of the board put it, he went south with the money. Anyway, Mr. Conklin gave me the $30, and I paid it the very first thing I think it was the very first thing.
Connie, you did pay that bill, didn't you?
Oh, now I remember. I gave it to Walter Denton to pay. For a minute there, I was worried.
You gave the school phone bill to Walter Denton to pay, and now you're not worried?
No. I can always start looking for another job. Would you mind decreasing the speed of this rocket ship just a little, Walter?
For you, fair one, I'll make the old chariot tiptoe. But why so jittery on this most beautiful of all possible days?
Because, oh fast one, on this most beautiful of all possible days, I've just been stricken with the most horrible of all possible thoughts. Briefly, the school phone bill I gave you 2 weeks ago.
School phone bill. School phone bill.
Oh, no, don't tell me you forgot it.
School phone bill. Oh, now I remember. Oh, wasn't that the bill that was overdue and Mr. Conklin asked you to pay it for him at once?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, and you had something important to do downtown and told me to take care of it immediately?
Exactly. Oh, well, it's a relief to know that's attended to. I knew you wouldn't let me down, Walter.
Of course I wouldn't let you down. I told him to pay it at once when I turned it over to Stretch Snodgrass.
Stretch Snodgrass? Listen, Walter, I know Stretch is a great athlete and a good friend of yours, but he's a bird brain.
You're just worrying in advance, Miss Brooks. I'm sure he took care of it. Look, there's Stretch going into school now. We'll ask him about it. Hey, Stretch, wait up a minute.
Okay. Hi, Walter. Hello, Miss Brooks.
Stretch, I'd like to ask you a question.
Fire away.
Don't think it's not a temptation. Do you recall the phone bill Walter gave you to pay 2 weeks ago?
Remember, Stretch? I told you it was urgent.
Urgent? Oh, yeah. Wasn't that the phone bill Mr. Conklin gave Miss Brooks to pay in a hurry?
That's right. It was overdue, and I gave it to Walter and told him to pay it without delay.
And I had something very important to do myself that day, so I gave it to you and I told you to take care of it immediately.
Sure. I remember it all now.
Then you took care of it.
Absolutely. When I handed that bill to my sister, I told her to pay it at once.
To whom it may concern, copy this phone bill and send it along with 10 cents to 5 of your friends, and if no one breaks the chain, who knows, someday you may be the lucky recipient of a very low number at Alcatraz.
Well, I've straightened out your office for you, Daddy.
Thank you, Harriet.
I'm certainly glad the telephone company gave you a new number.
So am I. The past few days have been quite an ordeal, I can tell you. I still don't know how those telephone people could give a disc jockey the same number as mine.
It was just a mistake, Daddy. I'm sure it won't happen again.
It better not. Those ridiculous song requests had me frantic. Imagine I get down to my office, haven't even said good morning to a soul, and 10 people call up and say, good night, Irene.
Well, it's all over, and you have a brand new number.
Well, not a minute too soon. Mr. Stone is coming over to discuss our anti-gambling campaign this afternoon.
I still don't understand why the board is so interested in the district attorney's gambling crusade.
It's very simple, my dear. They're merely cooperating with all local agencies to run down the head of a big gambling syndicate purported to be operating in this immediate vicinity. Actually, the police haven't the faintest idea of the man's identity.
They don't know anything about him at all?
Just that he's referred to as the big boy.
The big boy? Well, that's some clue, isn't it?
Yes, at least they won't go around looking for a girl. Now, Harriet, if you'll excuse me, I have minutes. I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, this is Dutch. Give me 200 across the board on Harbor Song and a third, huh?
What's that? What number do you want?
Maine 5463.
Let's see. Yes, this is Maine 5463, but I'm
Well,
sure...
then give me 200 across on Harbor Song and a third.
Harbor Song? You must have the wrong number.
Oh, please, you don't have to be so cagey. We got protection now. Hey, this is Ben a Bookie, isn't it?
No, this is Osgood, the principal. I mean, there must be some mistake.
Look, the big boy gave us this number to call for track conditions, latest odds, and laying off bets. And a big boy don't make no mistakes.
The big boy?
Yeah. Now use your head and play ball.
What?
Or we'll use your head and play ball. 200 across on Harbor Song, huh? Goodbye.
What's going on, Daddy?
Harriet, this is terrible. I should have quit while I was a disc jockey. By some fiendish mistake, the telephone company has given me the same number as a bookmaker.
Now, calm down, Daddy. All you have to do is call the company and ask them to change it again.
But it took 3 days to change it last time, and Mr. Stone is coming here this afternoon. There's only one way out. Harriet, you've got to rush to the phone company and get a repairman to disconnect this phone immediately.
All right, Daddy, but I wish you'd relax. There's really nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about, she says. What if Harbor Song wins?
Gosh, Miss Brooks, I thought you'd never come out in the hall.
It couldn't be helped, Stretch. My contract here calls for me to teach a little English every day. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. Most of them kids of yours need to be learned plenty. Well, I just want to tell you I checked up on that phone bill for you. You see, I don't want anybody to go around incinerating that I'm undependable.
I don't blame you. That kind of incinerating would burn me up, too. What did you find out about the bill?
Well, luckily, my sister realized how important it was.
Oh, wonderful. Then she took care of it.
I'll say she did. She gave it to my mother to pay. Now your worries are really over. My mother is just as dependable as I am.
That's no way for a child to talk about his parents.
Miss Brooks, we're cooked. That phone bill couldn't have been paid. The telephone man is here to disconnect the phone.
What? Where is he, Walter?
He's right down the hall. He just asked me how to find Mr. Conklin's office, but I stalled him off. I gave him directions to another place entirely.
But that's only a temporary stay. Tell me where you directed him, and I'll go find him.
Where I directed him, you can't go. Miss Brooks, he's coming back now.
Pardon me, ma'am, but could you tell me how to get to Mr. Conklin's office?
Mr. Conklin's office? Who's Mr. Conklin?
Well, I don't know, but my orders read disconnect phone in Mr. Osgood Conklin's office.
Oh, that Mr. Conklin. You must have been carrying those orders around for quite a while, young man.
What do you mean?
He died 10 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What about his office?
His office? Oh, that's been converted into a student coat closet.
Coat closet? Then why did this kid direct me to...
Everybody makes mistakes. The phone company must have made a mistake in your instructions. You'd better go back and tell them about it.
Okay. Well, that happens once in a while, but I still can't get over this kid sending me on such a wild goose chase.
Me either. Seems like a very strange place to be looking for a wild goose.
Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream. It cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
Colgate toothpaste.
Cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. And the Colgate way stops tooth decay best.
More than 2 years' research showed the Colgate way of brushing teeth right after eating helped stop more decay for more people than ever before reported in dentifrice history. Yes, the Colgate way stopped tooth decay best. Better than any other home method of oral hygiene.
No other toothpaste or powder, ammoniated or not, has proof of such results. And you should know that Colgate's, while not mentioned by name, was the only toothpaste used in the research on tooth decay recently reported in Reader's Digest. Yes, Colgate Dental Cream, and only Colgate Dental Cream, was used in this research.
So always use Colgates to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. And when you follow the Colgate way, Colgate Dental Cream stops tooth decay best.
Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream. It cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
And the Colgate way stops tooth decay best.
Well, even after the repairman left, I was still jittery for fear he'd come back and reveal the truth about my negligence to Mr. Conklin. It afforded some relief, however, to sit in the cafeteria at lunchtime and pour my baleful story into the handsome ears of Mr. Boynton.
Well, now, let's see if I've got this straight, Miss Brooks. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Conklin gave you the school phone bill, told you it was overdue and must be paid at once. You gave it to Walter Denton. Walter Denton gave it to Stretch Snodgrass. Stretch Snodgrass gave it to his sister.
And the green grass grew all around. It's no use talking, Mr. Boynton. I'm probably in big trouble. Supposing that repairman comes back again to disconnect the phone.
Well, isn't there some way to pay the bill before that happens?
How? The $30 Mr. Conklin gave me, I gave to Walter with the bill, and he gave it to... Well, we've been all through that. Temporarily, we've got to assume it's gone. And the point is, where am I going to get another $30?
Well, perhaps some other member of the faculty might help. That's what friends are for, to help one another. Now, I consider myself a friend of yours, Miss Brooks, and, well, I want you to know I'm prepared to assist you in this matter.
You mean I can count on you for...
$2. I'll canvass the rest of the faculty for the remainder. I know they'll come through for you.
You think so, Mr. Boynton?
Oh, take my word for it. They'll help you to a man.
Right now, I'd rather they just help me to some money.
Well, if you'll excuse me, Miss Brooks, I'll go see a few of the...
Pardon me, Mr. Boynton. And Miss Brooks, he's back. The telephone man is back.
No, where is he, Walter?
Well, Stretch and I caught him as he was entering the building, right outside Mr. Conklin's office.
You didn't let him get into Mr. Conklin's office. Tell me that you thought of a way to stall him again.
Well, I didn't, but Stretch thought of a wonderful way.
How?
He's sitting on his chest.
Here, Daddy, I brought you a sandwich. I figured you'd be too upset to eat in the cafeteria today.
Oh, you're right, Harriet. Why doesn't that confounded telephone man get here? If Mr. Stone arrives before this phone is disconnected,
But I don't understand, Daddy. The phone company said they sent a man over much earlier today.
I know all about that.
But when I called them to send him back, they claimed I died 10 years ago.
But that's ridiculous.
Thank you, my dear. However, if that fellow doesn't come back, I don't
I've
want
got an idea. Why don't you just pull the wire out yourself?
What? Me commit a malicious mischief against the telephone company's property? You forget, Harriet, your father is the principal of a great high school. And a high school principal does not resort to such measures no matter what the emergency.
But it might be the only way out.
Stop goading me, Harriet. I'm just not physically equipped to try pulling that telephone wire out of the wall. Again.
Oh, there you are, Stretch. Walter told me what happened.
It was the only way, Miss Brooks. I had to do it.
I suppose so, but you were taking an awful chance, right outside the principal's office, too.
Well, it couldn't be helped.
I guess not. Now get off the man's chest, Stretch.
Yes, ma'am.
This is extremely decent of you.
You see, sir, Stretch here probably thought you were a prowler on account of that black bag you're carrying. That's about it, isn't it, Stretch?
About?
Well, I don't know why all this is going on, but right after you told me Mr. Conklin was dead, the telephone company told me he was alive.
Well, everyone's entitled to his opinion. Oh, you must have wanted Mr. Conklin Jr. It's Mr. Conklin Sr. who passed on.
Well, I'm glad that's cleared up. Now, where's Junior's office? I've got to take care of his phone.
Phone? You mean you've come to reconnect it?
No, I've come to disconnect it.
Oh, what a shame. The company sent somebody over to do that an hour ago. Well, you've certainly bagged your quota of wild geese today, haven't you?
Well, I don't mind telling you it's been a discouraging experience. Well, I'll go back and check in again. This is what I get for not listening to my mother. She said that she wanted me to take up the timpanis. Goodbye for now.
You know, I'm going to miss him.
Miss Brooks, who was that man who just left the building?
Man, Mr. Conklin?
Yes, the man with the brown bag.
There was no man, Mr. Conklin. And it was a black bag.
Thank you, Snodgrass. Step into my office, please, Miss Brooks.
Yes, sir.
Now, about that man, the one with the black and brown bag. Was he by any chance the telephone repairman I'd been expecting?
Oh, were you expecting a telephone repairman?
Yes, Miss Brooks. I've gotten someone else's telephone number by mistake. A mistake which could take 3 days to rectify, whereas it only takes 10 minutes to disconnect the phone from the wall.
Oh, is that what he was here for?
Precisely. And now, may I ask why you so obviously dismissed him?
Well, in a few ill-chosen words, Mr. Conklin, I didn't pay the phone bill when you gave me the money 2 weeks ago, and I thought the repairman was here to disconnect your phone because of my negligence, and I'd like to remain on the premises just long enough to say goodbye to some of my friends. I thank you.
I never heard such gibberish in all my born days. I've got more serious worries than a delinquent phone bill on my mind, Miss Brooks.
You mean it's all right, Mr. Conklin?
No, it's not all right, but I'll take that up later. Whatever you do, don't mention your omission to Mr. Stone when he gets here.
Mr. Stone?
You've got to help me, Miss Brooks. Mr. Stone will be here at any moment to discuss my gambling campaign. However, some very strange phone calls are liable to interrupt my conference. That's why I want you to sit in on this meeting.
Me? But, Mr. Conklin,
I'll say that you're taking notes on our discussion. Your main function, however, is to answer the phone. Oh, that's him.
But I don't understand, Mr. Conklin. What kind of phone
There's
calls
no
have been coming?
time for explanations now. Be right there, Mr. Stone. Just act perfectly casual, no matter what you hear when you pick up that receiver. And remember, don't repeat a word of it. Well, Mr. Stone, come in.
Thank you, Osgood.
Miss Brooks here is going to take some notes on our anti-gambling discussion. That is, if you have no objection.
Not at all. Nice to see you again, Miss Brooks. You seem to be in the pink.
Want to bet? It's nice to see you again, too, Mr. Stone.
Sit down, Mr. Stone. Here's a comfortable chair. Miss Brooks, you sit down by that desk with the phone on it.
Yes, sir.
Well, what's the news from the district attorney's office, Mr. Stone?
They haven't made too much progress, Osgood. It's rather a difficult task in view of the fact they don't know just who the big boy is. And two, we can't seem to find out where his syndicate headquarters are located.
But they do think it's in this area.
Definitely.
Oh, good, good. Then it's just a question of time before the bell rings for his final round. Would you get that, please, Miss Brooks?
Yes, sir. Hello?
This is Dutch again. Who's this?
This is Miss Brooks.
Well, what'll they think of next? Now they got a doll answering the phone.
Well, thank you.
Tell me, sugar, what do you think the track conditions are at Narragansett, huh?
Frankly, I haven't given it much thought.
Who's that you're talking to, Miss Brooks?
It's Dutch, Mr. Conklin.
Please make it brief, Miss Brooks. Tell him we're busy.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Dutch, but we're quite occupied at the moment. And
Occupied? Oh, look, now, don't give me no rush, Jack. Frenchie told me I should call whenever I feel like it.
Oh. Mr. Conklin, Dutch says that Frenchie told him to call.
Dutch, Frenchie, who are they?
A couple of delegates we know from the United Nations.
Just hang up, Miss Brooks. Hang up at once.
Yes, Mr. Conklin. Bye, Dutch.
Now, as I started to tell you, Mr. Stone, we've done wonders here at Madison. Firstly, by eliminating all vending machines, I've destroyed the impulse to deposit coins in slots of any kind.
He's even discouraged use of the public telephone. Naughty word.
The instinct to gamble must be crushed at the earliest opportunity. One of the reasons it's so difficult to track down this big boy mob is because of the unwitting protection afforded them by the uninformed. They operate in candy stores, skating rinks, even schools.
Even schools?
Nice timing, Dutch. Hello?
Look, I'm tired of playing games. How's the weather at Narragansett?
Well, what do I know about the weather at Narragansett?
Just a moment. Narragansett's a big racetrack. Hand me that phone.
Oh, no!
Hello, Dutch. The conditions at Narragansett are weather clear, track fast. Now, would you like to make a bet?
Hatchet Man should be a cinch on a fast track, and we got a load bet on him with us. I better lay off about 600 across the board, huh?
600 on Hatchet Man. It's a bet.
Ah, good, good. That's one thing about the big boy. He makes you pay through the nose, but he gives you the service, huh? Well, so long.
So long. Well, Osgood, that was a very revealing phone call.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Stone. You know where I stand on gambling. Why, we've eliminated penny matching, bottle cap tossing.
And any minute we're going to chop up the weighing machine. Come in, whoever you are.
Oh, pardon me, Mr. Conklin, but could I speak with Miss Brooks for just a moment?
I suppose so, Boynton, but please be quick about it.
Oh, yes, sir. Here, Miss Brooks, here's $20 toward the money you owe for the phone bill.
Well, thanks, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, don't thank me. Thank your fellow teachers. I didn't have time to reach them all, but everyone I asked to chipped in and said he knew it was a safe bet.
Did you hear that, Mr. Conklin? The other teachers are all chipping in. Mr. Boynton could only get $20 now, but they all know it's a safe bet.
Safe bet, eh? Miss Brooks, tell me, is this money for the Hatchet Man, too?
Naturally, but I don't think that's a very flattering way to refer to Mr. Conklin.
Perhaps he'd like it better if I refer to him by his real name. Eh, big boy?
Big boy! Mr. Stone, there's been a frightful misunderstanding. Miss Brooks, tell Mr. Stone what this money is for.
But, Mr. Conklin, you told me not to mention it.
Well, mention it! Mention it!
Well, Mr. Stone, this money is for a phone bill that I neglected to pay.
I would say your telephone service is functioning admirably.
Let me explain, Mr. Stone. Just today I received a new phone number in answer to a request I made 3 days ago.
Why did you want your number changed 3 days ago?
Because he hasn't got a recording of Good Night, Irene.
Good night, Irene.
Good night. Come on, Mr. Boynton.
What's going on here?
That's what I'd like to know. Why don't you come clean, big boy?
Will you please stop calling me by that name, Mr. Stone? The phone company happened to give me the former number of a bookmaker, and it was too late to have it changed before you got here.
Balderdash! Sent for a telephone repairman and had the phone disconnected.
Yes, why didn't you send for a telephone repairman? I mean, he did send for a repairman, Mr. Stone, but I thought he was coming to disconnect the phone because I hadn't paid the bill, and I sent him away.
Unpaid phone bills mixed up. You know what I think? I think you're all in this together.
Mr. Stone, I can't say that I like your attitude.
Force yourself.
Miss Brooks, can you give me one shred of evidence to support this fantastic phone bill story?
Well, sir,
Excuse me, everybody, but the door was open, so I thought I'd just botch on in. I've got the news you've been waiting for all day.
Really, Stretch? What part of the school is on fire?
No, it's about the phone bill. I just found out my mother paid it.
She paid it?
Sure, here's the receipt.
Well, I guess this answers your request for evidence, Mr. Stone. Here, take a look at this.
Just what does this receipt mean, Miss Brooks?
Read it, you'll see.
I already have. Now suppose you read it.
Certainly. Received from Madison High School, $30. Signed, the Consolidated Gas Company.
As our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment, but first, dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight? Yes, tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Luster Cream, world's finest shampoo. No other shampoo in the world gives you Kay Daumit's magic blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Better than a soap, better than a liquid, Luster Cream is a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair 3 ways lovelier, fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen, soft, manageable. Even in hardest water, Luster Cream lathers instantly. No special rinse needed after a Luster Cream shampoo. So gentle, Luster Cream is wonderful even for children's hair. Tonight? Yes, tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo. And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, we finally convinced Mr. Stone that we weren't running a gambling syndicate at Madison High School. And when I got home, I sat down at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee and the afternoon papers.
You look pretty worn out, Connie. Why don't you stretch out and take a nap?
I will, Mrs. Davis, but first I've got to call Mr. Conklin right away. I just saw something in the paper I've got to tell him about.
What is it, Connie?
His $2 parlay on Harbor Song and Hatchet Man paid $32.
This is Vern Smith reminding you to tune in next week to another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written by Al Lewis, with the music of Wilbur Hatch.
You want a beauty soap for a beauty bath.
And your bath becomes a beauty bath when you change to proper cleansing with Palmolive soap.
For bathing with this beauty soap brings you the full beautifying effects of Palmolive's mild and gentle lather, proved by doctors to bring most women lovelier complexions in just 14 days.
Bath-size Palmolive is designed to give you everything you need for all-over beauty care. Fragrance for daintiness, mildness for loveliness, purity for gentleness, big bath size for thriftiness.
So get big bath size Palmolive. So mild, so pure, so right for all of you.
Be sure to listen to Mr. and Mrs. North every Tuesday over this same network. And be with us again next week at this same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. Stay tuned now for Jack Benny. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden.
It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks under the direction of Al Lewis. Well, quite a few romances have started between faculty members teaching at the same school. But for our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School, romance is a problem.
It's really two problems. Problem number one is the object of my affections, Mr. Philip Boynton, biology teacher. He's so bashful he won't even shave himself unless he's wearing a tie. And problem number two is the strict anti-fraternization rule laid down by Madison's beloved principal, Osgood Conklin. Of course, Mr. Boynton devised a very effective method of getting around this rule. He suggested that we stop seeing each other entirely. However, I immediately used my power of veto, and before he could take it to the General Assembly, we convened for 2 dates away from the school. The last date occurred on Wednesday night, and Thursday morning at breakfast, my landlady asked for the details.
Now tell me everything that happened last night, Connie.
We went to a movie, Mrs. Davis.
And?
And we came home. And fold up your program. The recital is over. Pass the cream, please.
But what did Mr. Boynton say? What did he do?
Nothing. Pass the cream.
I can't understand that man. Here he has date after date with a girl who's intelligent, attractive, wholesome, chic, charming. And what does he do about it?
Nothing. Pass the cream. It's not that he isn't fond of me, Mrs. Davis, but he's been worried lately about someone very near and dear to him.
A relative?
Yes, his pet frog, McDougal. It seems with the cold weather coming on, Mac is very prone to laryngitis, and there are no heating facilities for the cages. The least the school should do is put some heating equipment in there.
Why doesn't Mr. Boynton ask Mr. Conklin for it?
Because Mr. Boynton is almost as terrified of Mr. Conklin as he is of me. He doesn't dare ask him for anything.
Then you've got to do it, Connie. Don't you see? If you get the things he needs, Mr. Boynton won't be so preoccupied and worried when he's out on dates with you.
Well, it's worth a try, I guess. Now, if I can remember where I left it, I'll put my face on and get ready for Walter Denton. Walter's driving me to school again.
You mean your car is still in the repair shop?
Yes, the mechanic called yesterday and said it would take a bit longer this time. It seems they're having a little trouble with the motor.
What kind of trouble?
They've misplaced it. I'm glad you picked me up early today, Walter. I've got to stop into Mr. Conklin's office before my first class.
What a depressing way to start off the day. I'm glad I don't have to see our beloved principal this morning. I'm low enough already.
Low?
I feel gloomier than a school teacher's personality. Present company accepted, of course.
Of course. But what's the reason for this blue mood? Did Harriet Conklin give you the go-by?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, Harriet and I are still an item. It's Stretch Snodgrass who's preying on my mind.
Maybe that's because he hasn't got one of his own.
Well, I know he's never been exactly a beacon of brilliance scholastically, Miss Brooks, but on that gridiron he's always been a tower of strength. Up to last week, that is.
What happened last week?
Well, you saw the game last Saturday. Didn't you see what he did?
Sure. He picked up a fumble and ran 85 yards with it. First, I couldn't quite figure out why I was the only one in my section who was cheering.
He ran the wrong way. How Oakhurst beat us on that one numbskull play. Oh, but if you think that was bad, you should see Stretch at practice. He's just awful out there. His blocking is positively sad, and his tackling's getting everybody down.
Isn't that what it's supposed to do?
No, Miss Brooks, this is no laughing matter. If Stretch doesn't perk up, we'll lose our big game to Clay City next week.
Well, what do you think is the cause of this change in him, Walter?
Well, I know what it is. The big goof's in love.
Love?
And the trouble is he won't tell anybody who the girl is. Hey, wait a minute. He's very fond of you, Miss Brooks. Maybe you could straighten him out. You know, have a talk with him and
I'd like to help, Walter, but I've got a more pressing problem this morning. That's why I'm going straight to Mr. Conklin's office.
What could possibly be more pressing than Madison's winning the battle of the year?
My winning the battle of Boynton's lab.
Maybe it's none of my business, Daddy, but I don't think think you should start the day off wearing such a long face?
I'm sorry, Harriet. If you'll turn your back for a moment, I'll put on a short face for you.
Well, what's the reason for it, anyhow? Why are you so despondent?
Because of our coach's report on Snodgrass, that's why. He's been playing abominably, and the coach knows the reason. The big moose is in love.
In love? But isn't there something we can do, Daddy?
If there was, I'd be doing it. You don't think I want to lose this game to Jason Brill's Clay City nincompoops, do you?
Of course not, Daddy. I know Mr. Brill's your arch rival.
He's worse than that. He's... No, what's the use? There's just no way out. There's no way I could possibly feel any worse than I do right now.
Have you thought of Miss Brooks, Daddy?
You have just shown me a way.
Well, Miss Brooks might be able to help. If there's one person in this school whom Stretch admires and respects, it's her. Maybe she could pull him out of his doldrums.
So you might have something there at that. As soon as she gets to school, I'll talk to her. Come in.
Oh, pardon me, Mr. Conklin. If you're busy, I'll come back later.
Not at all, Miss Brooks. Harriet was just leaving for her class. Run along, dear.
Okay, Daddy. See you later, Miss Brooks.
Goodbye, Harriet.
Sit down, won't you? Over here by my desk. That's the most comfortable chair.
Maybe you don't know who I am. It's Miss Brooks, Mr. Conklin.
I know it's Miss Brooks, and I'm delighted that you dropped in to see me this morning.
You are? Well, then it won't be so difficult to ask a favor of you.
You want a favor of me, Miss Brooks?
Yes, sir.
Now, isn't that a coincidence? I want a favor of you. One hand washes the other, eh?
That's as good a way as any to get them both clean. But my favor isn't exactly for
I don't care what it is, Miss Brooks. If you do a favor for me, I'll do a favor for you. Or as my old commanding officer, Colonel Elliot Reed, used to say, you play ball with me, and I'll play ball with you. He was a Texan.
But what's your favor, Mr. Conklin?
Well, as you know, Madison's big football game with Clay City is to be played next week.
Yes, sir.
You are also aware of my intense rivalry with Jason Brill, their principal.
Yes, sir, but what do you want of me, Mr. Conklin?
Well, it's very simple, Miss Brooks. Perhaps you've heard about Snodgrass running the wrong way last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know that nobody with half a brain could make a mistake like that twice, except perhaps Snodgrass. And that idiot woman a few rows behind me who kept cheering him.
Next Saturday, I'll keep my mouth shut. What do you think I can do about Stretch, Mr. Conklin?
Well, you may be able to straighten him out. You see, Miss Brooks, he's been even worse in practice this week than in that game last Saturday. And the coach seems to think it's because he's in love.
That's what Walter Denton thinks, too.
Does Denton know with whom?
No, nobody does.
Ah, exactly. And that's where you come in. In his lame-brained, dunce-like way, Snodgrass admires you greatly. He has his reasons, I'm sure.
We lame-brained dunces are pretty clannish.
So, what I meant was, you seem to be the logical person to find out just what little baggage is turning Snodgrass's head. And I use the word advisedly.
And if I find out, then what?
Then your natural feminine instincts will come to the fore, and you will devise some way to circumvent the activities of the aforementioned bit of baggage. Now then, what is the favor you seek?
Well, Mr. Boynton needs some new equipment for the biology lab, and he's too timid to ask for it.
He shall have it. What kind of equipment?
Some heating facilities, for one thing, and more comfortable cages for his frogs and guinea pigs.
It's done. Anything else?
Else? Well, now that you mention it, I could use a new desk and some new window shades. I also would like to have my room painted a nice, cheerful shade of green.
Miss Brooks. You are speaking with Osgood Conklin, not winner-take-all.
Well, if you feel that way about it, maybe Stretch and his girl should be left alone. After all,
A nice, cheerful shade of green it is. Now, you're sure you know what to do, Miss Brooks?
Leave it to me, Mr. Conklin. When I get through with him, Stretch will not only check his baggage, he won't call for her for 30 days.
teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream, it cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
Colgate toothpaste.
Cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. And the Colgate way stops tooth decay best.
More than 2 years' research showed the Colgate way of brushing teeth right after eating helped stop more decay for more people than ever before reported in dentifrice history. Yes, the Colgate way stopped tooth decay best, better than any other home method of oral hygiene.
No other toothpaste or powder, ammoniated or not, has proof of such results. And you should know that Colgate, while not mentioned by name, was the only toothpaste used in the research on tooth decay recently reported in Reader's Digest. Yes, Colgate Dental Cream, and only Colgate Dental Cream, was used in this research.
So always use Colgates to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. And when you follow the Colgate way, Colgate Dental Cream stops tooth decay best.
Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream, it cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
And the Colgate way stops tooth decay best.
Well, I took advantage of a free period I had right before lunch and sought out Madison's moon-eyed mastodon, Stretch Snodgrass. I found him near the water fountain in the hall. He was slouching against the wall and seemed half asleep, but when I approached him, he snapped to attention.
Hi.
Hello, Stretch. I hope I'm not keeping you up. I hope I'm not keeping you from any of your classes, but I would like to talk to you for a few minutes.
You ain't keeping me from nothing, Miss Brooks. French class is the place which I'm supposed to have been at pretty soon from now. But my French can wait.
At least until your English catches up. Stretch, what I wanted to talk to you about was your football playing. You know yourself you're not playing as well as you used to, and a lot of your friends around here are beginning to worry about it.
Why should they worry? Gosh, just because I don't play over my head in every game, everybody gets all upset. After all, you don't get paid to play high school football.
I know, Stretch, but think of the future. Someday you may go to college. You must admit you've been letting down a bit lately.
Oh, I can't help it. This season's been nothing but practice, practice, practice. The guy can't go on like that with just all work and no play. After all, I ain't no auto matron.
No auto matron?
Well, you know, a mechanical man. The kind they call a Robert.
Oh.
Besides, a little relaxer never hurt nobody.
But, Stretch, why should a young boy like yourself be yawning in the middle of the morning?
I'm tired.
I couldn't have thought of a better answer if I'd tried all day.
My new girlfriend thinks relaxing is good for me. She won't even let me quit rumbering and take her home till 1 in the morning. It's been going on like that for the last 2 weeks.
Who is this new girlfriend, Stretch?
Oh, no, you don't.
No, I don't what?
You don't get Judy's name out of me. I promise to keep it a secret.
Well, that's your privilege. If you don't want me to know Judy's name, I'm not going to know Judy. That's all there is to that. Judy who?
Gosh, I didn't even want that part of her name to get out, but it just slipped. Look, Miss Brooks, you wouldn't want me to break a promise, would you?
Fervently. Listen, Stretch, even if you enjoy all this rumbering, don't your girl's parents object to these late hours every night?
Oh, I'm sure they don't.
How can you be so sure?
Her old man gives me the money to take her out.
What?
Sure, he's not like our principal. Mr. Brill's a real good sport.
Stretch, do you mean to tell me you've been taking out Judy Brill?
How do you know?
A little bird brain told me. Oh, I can't wait to see Mr. Conklin's reaction to this bit of news.
Gosh, Miss Brooks, you're not going to tell Mr. Conklin, are you?
Not yet, Stretch. Out of consideration for his family, there's something I've got to find out first.
What's that?
If his life insurance is paid up. I've talked through your entire lunch, Mr. Boynton, but it couldn't be helped. If we're going to get any favors from Mr. Conklin, we've got to straighten out Stretch Snodgrass.
Well, I'm glad you told me the story, Miss Brooks. Imagine Jason Brill putting his own daughter up to a trick like that. What kind of a girl is this Judy Brill, anyhow?
Well, you know the expression, sweet 16 and never been kissed?
Yes?
When this kid reached 12, she was ineligible. I met her last summer, Mr. Boynton. It isn't generally known, but Mr. Brill wrote me a letter before the last semester began in which he hinted that if I were dissatisfied with Madison for any reason, he'd be happy to have me on the staff at his school.
Oh, he's approached several teachers here, Miss Brooks. It isn't that he wanted you so much. It's just that there are no lengths to which Mr. Brill won't go to harass Mr. Conklin.
Flatterer. But according to reports from some friends on the faculty at Clay City High, Judy Brill is quite a little firebrand. She's at an age now where she considers all males fair game.
There's an age?
This boy's been learning biology as well as teaching it. Look, Mr. Boynton, when I found out that Stretch was going with Jason Brill's daughter, I devised a plan. We're going to beat Jason Brill at his own game and using the same kind of weapon.
But, Miss Brooks, I don't understand. Even if you and I were married today, where could we get a 16-year-old daughter by Saturday?
All these years of going to the zoo and you don't even know a fast stork. Don't you see, Mr. Boynton? All we have to do is to get Stretch to think that Judy is just a flirt, and he'll lose all interest in her.
Well, how do we do that?
By letting Stretch catch her on a date with some other boy.
What other boy?
Walter Denton.
Walter Denton?
Did I hear somebody mention my name?
You're just in time, Walter. Sit down, please. Mr. Boynton and I would like to talk to you.
Okay. Have you thought of any way to get Stretch's mind off the mystery woman and back on his football game, Miss Brooks?
Yes, Walter. I've thought of a dilly of a plan. But it requires some cooperation from you.
Well, we should all do whatever we can, Walter. This is a crisis.
Well, what can I do? He won't even tell me the name of this chick.
The name of the chick is Judy Brill, and her father's been paying all expenses to keep Stretch out late every night rumbering.
Rumbering?
Yes. While the Clay City team is getting its rest, Judy Brill is keeping our star player's backfield in motion. But I know the kind of a boy Stretch is, and if we can arrange to have him catch Judy with another boyfriend, I know he'll forget all about her.
Well, not only forget about it, but it might make him so mad he'll go out on that field Saturday and play the game of his life.
Say, that sounds like a swell idea. Of course, Stretch is boxing champ of Madison, too, so it might not be so pleasant for the guy he catches with his girl. Well, that's a necessary risk, I guess. Who's the chump you've got lined up to be the patsy in this?
Don't be crude, Patsy. Walter. I thought that you'd be happy to volunteer for this job.
Me?
Well, you want to see Madison beat Clay City, don't you?
Well, sure I do, but will I have my bandages off in time? Oh, you've never seen Stretch fight. I have.
Believe me, Walter, Mr. Boynton and I will make sure that Stretch doesn't lay a hand on you.
He doesn't have to. He could kick me to death. I'm afraid you'll just have to count me out, folks.
Oh, count you out, but Walter Stretch is a very dear friend of yours. You don't want to see him ruin his life, do
Don't
you?
you see, Walter, this girl isn't right for Stretch. It isn't just a football game that's involved. It's a boy's future.
But what about my future?
What about your future?
I want to be around when it gets here. Oh, look, Stretch has a terrible temper, and if he catches me making goo-goo eyes at his girl, he'll clobber me till I'm dismal. Besides, there's Harriet Conklin. Oh, we're virtually betrothed. What would she think if she heard I was out with another girl?
She won't hear, Walter, and even if she does, we can always explain that you were just doing it for the good of your school.
I'm sorry, I'd rather not take the chance.
I'm surprised at you, Walter. Haven't you any sense of loyalty?
Haven't you any school spirit? This whole thing won't take you more than half an hour. All you have to do is sit on the couch and put your arms around a little red-headed girl with big blue eyes, a cute little turned-up nose, and an adorable mouth.
But I still think that it's Stretch... an adorable mouth. Nobody can say I haven't got any school spirit. What time and where?
Well, make it 8 o'clock tonight at my place. I'll drop over to Clay City High this afternoon and tell Judy I'm thinking of accepting her father's invitation to join the faculty there next term. Then I'll invite her over to my place for dinner, ostensibly so I can ask some questions about my new pupils.
But supposing she won't come?
Oh, she'll be glad to come. Judy Brill is just a little girl. To be asked to dinner by a woman like Miss Brooks is quite flattering. After all, when you get right down to ages...
When you get right down to ages, I'm almost twice as tall as Judy Brill. I'm glad you were able to come over this evening, Judy.
Me too, Miss Brooks. The dinner was wonderful, and I've enjoyed talking to you about your teaching at Clay City next term.
I suppose you feel you should be out dancing Stretch's feet off, but you've still got 3 nights before the big game, and not seeing you tonight will only make you more anxious.
You're so right. Men are such problems. They're just like children. You've got to play up to their ego and convince each one he's the only man in your life. Oh, but listen to me telling you about men. A sophisticated, charming woman like you. Oh, I just wish I had your knowledge of men.
Want to trade?
Very pleasant coincidence that Walter Denton dropped over, don't you think? He's an awfully cute boy.
No, I'm glad you like Walter, Judy. By the way, where did he disappear to?
I didn't disappear. She's on my lap.
Isn't that sweet? What a naive way to get acquainted.
Want me to answer it?
You sit right where you are, Walter.
Yes, you sit right where you are, Walter.
How can I help it? She hasn't budged off me since I said, how do you do, Miss Brill?
I'll get it, Walter.
Well, here we are, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Mr. Boynton. Come in, Stretch.
Thanks.
Well, what brings you to this part of town, Stretch?
Well, I was just walking home when Mr. Boynton drove up alongside the curb in his car and stuck his head out of the window and said, "Hi, Stretch, just the fellow I've been looking for. How about hopping in and going for a little ride over to Miss Brooks's place and having a glass of milk or something, if you haven't got anything better to do?" I didn't have anything better to do, so I said, "Okay, Mr. Boynton, I'd like nothing better than to hop in and go over to Miss Brooks's place for milk or something. Have you got any?"
So that's what brings you to this part of town. I'll give you some milk later, Stretch. There are some friends of yours in the living room. Come on in. Pardon me, kids, but we've got company.
Hi, Walter. I didn't know that. Judy, what are you doing here?
Well, Miss Brooks invited me over to dinner, and then Walter just sort of dropped by.
You sort of dropped by?
Hold him, Miss Brooks.
Surround him, Mr. Boynton.
What's everybody so jumpy about?
Aren't you sore at me for sitting here with your girl?
Sore? Heck no, Walter. You do me a big favor. You see, I got to thinking about what Miss Brooks said this morning, and I realized that I got to get a lot more sleep if I'm going to be any good in the game Saturday.
Oh, but Stretch, dear, you don't have to sleep so much.
Well, sure I do. It ain't that I don't appreciate what you and your dad done for me, Judy, and I certainly ain't mad about all that rumbering.
It's just that for an athlete, rumbering's not as good as slumbering. Now, Walter, if I may make a suggestion, I think you should drop Miss Brill off at the bus station.
What's this all about, anyway? Is this some kind of a plot?
Turnabout is fair play, Miss Brill.
Yeah. And if you'll excuse me right now, I'll turn about and hit the road.
I'll excuse all of you right now. That is, all but you, Mr. Boynton.
Well, this is what I get for accepting the hospitality of a Madison Highite.
Thank you, and good night. Don't slam the door.
Come on, Stretch. The least we can do is drop her off at the bus station. Good night, Miss Brooks, Mr. Boynton.
Good night, folks.
Well, it's simmered down to just the two of us, Mr. Boynton. Let's sit down on the couch,
All right. You know, Miss Brooks, in spite of the fact that I'm a biologist, I've never been overly observant about the emotional reactions of the people around me.
You're not just beating your Bunsen burner, Boynton. You have seemed a little preoccupied at times.
Well, be that as it may, Miss Brooks, your interest in the welfare of my little animals and the trouble you went to see that I got proper heating facilities for my lab have, well, they've made me realize just how much you care.
Really, Mr. Boynton?
Yes, indeed. And I want you to know that I care even more than you do.
You care even more than I do?
Well, yes. I've got $5 bet on that game Saturday.
Well, here's $2.50. I'll take half of your bet, and we'll set up housekeeping on the 40-yard line.
returns in just a moment, but first, dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight? Yes, tonight. Show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Luster Cream, world's finest shampoo. No other shampoo in the world gives you Kay Daumit's magic blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Better than a soap, better than a liquid, Luster Cream is a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair 3 ways lovelier. Fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen, soft, manageable. Even in hardest water, Luster Cream lathers instantly. No special rinse needed after a Luster Cream shampoo. So gentle, Luster Cream is wonderful even for children's hair. Tonight? Yes, tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, you owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
And now, once again, here is Eve Arden.
Here's a message for every young man over 17 years of age. Your National Guard offers you opportunities to train in your spare time while living at home. Yes, train with your hometown buddies using Army and Air Force equipment under the direct supervision of veteran Army and Air Force instructors. You'll receive valuable military experience, increase your civilian skill, and at the same time you'll be paid at regular service rates. Join the National Guard unit in your community now.
This is Vern Smith reminding you to tune in next week for another Our Miss Brooks show, brought to you by Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair, and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay. Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written by Al Lewis, with the music of Wilbur Hatch. Mr. Boynton is played by Jeff Chandler, Mr. Conklin by Gail Gordon. Others in tonight's cast were Jane Morgan, Dick Crenna, Gloria McMillan, Leonard Smith, and Sandra Gould. Doctors prove palm olive soap can bring you a lovelier complexion in 14 days. Yes, 36 leading skin specialists proved in tests on 1,285 different women that palm olive soap facials, using nothing but palm olive, brought new complexion beauty to 2 women out of 3. Just wash your face 3 times daily with palm olive soap, each time for 60 seconds, massaging palm olive's beauty lather onto your skin. Then rinse and pat dry. So start your palm olive facials today. Remember, doctors prove palm olive soap can bring you a lovelier complexion in 14 days. Be with us again next week at the same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. Stay tuned now for Jack Benny. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden.
It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks under the direction of Al Lewis. Well, the past few days haven't been easy ones for our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School. It seems that she is called upon to assume additional duties whenever Mr. Conklin, Madison's beloved principal, loses a secretary. At breakfast Thursday morning, Miss Brooks discussed her plight with her landlady.
It's not only the added work that bothers me, Mrs. Davis. It's Mr. Conklin's temper.
I know, Connie. Osgood is a natural-born sourball.
Lemon-flavored. No wonder he can't keep a secretary. Why, do you realize that since the fall term started, he lost 3 of them?
3 secretaries in a month? How is that possible?
Well, the first one lasted a week. She quit because she couldn't stand his yelling. The second one quit after 4 days for the same reason, and the third secretary left before she even started.
Why did the third one quit?
She heard Sourball screaming at the second one. He has another one coming over today, and believe me, it's not a minute too soon.
You've been doing an awful lot of extra work this past week. Has Mr. Conklin given you anything for it?
He's given me plenty, but I just don't listen. What annoys me more than anything else, though, is his latest suggestion, that I need glasses.
Glasses? But your vision is 20/20, isn't it?
Sure. At least as far as I know. But I made a few mistakes in typing yesterday, and he insisted that I stop in at an optometrist this morning and get a prescription for glasses.
Well, don't take it so hard, dear. There's nothing serious about wearing glasses. Now, here, eat your apple fritters.
I'll say they look good. What's this brown stuff next to them?
That's apple butter. Or if you'd rather have apple jelly, that's in this dish over here, near the picture of apple juice. You see, I'm celebrating National Apple Week this morning.
I would never have guessed. Oh, that's Walter Denton. He's going to drop me at the optometrist this morning. The door's open, Walter. Come on in.
Do you think you'll want something to eat?
You'll want everything to eat.
Tomorrow, fair lady. Well, and what is this I see before me? Apple fritters?
Here's a fork. Fill your face.
How about you, Miss Brooks?
I don't feel very hungry this morning, Walter. The possibility of my having to wear glasses has gotten me down, I guess.
I think that's absurd myself. I wish you'd tell Miss Brooks how little wearing glasses will affect her looks.
Oh, sure. Oh, you shouldn't worry about glasses hurting your looks, Miss Brooks.
I shouldn't?
Of course not. Nothing could do that. What I mean is, well, you don't even know if you need glasses yet. So why should you worry now about how Mr. Boynton's going to react if, as and when he sees you with glasses on?
I don't recall mentioning Mr. Boynton in this conversation.
You don't have to. His name shines out of your eyes like neon. But even if you do put goggles on, I'm sure that Mr. Boynton will feel just like any other average male feels about it.
And how is that?
Well, most men feel that glasses are merely an inconsequential man-made accoutrement. And the real beauty of a woman is what lies within herself. And the qualities admired by men of taste and sensitivity are of the mind and the soul.
Please go on, Dr. Freud.
Once we grant that true loveliness springs from the inner being, it follows that no exterior appurtenance could conceivably veil such loveliness.
Walter, would you go steady with a girl who wore glasses?
Frankly, I wouldn't be caught dead with one.
Turn in your fritters, Denton. You're through. Now, come on. We better get started. I've got an early appointment with the optometrist.
Oh, please, don't let it depress you, Miss Brooks. Remember, there's a bright side to this thing, too.
Where? I seem to have misplaced it.
Well, the eye doctor will put drops into your eyes as part of the examination. And this makes your vision all blurry and funny.
Well, what's so bright about that?
Don't you get it? Even after you arrive at school, you can be sitting right in his office with him and not see Mr. Conklin all morning long.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a wonderful day.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day.
You certainly are chipper this morning, Daddy. Singing in your office and wearing a big white carnation. I wish some of the teachers could look at you now.
Well, why don't you sell tickets? I'm merely trying to keep up my spirits in the face of the many arduous duties I'm called upon to perform.
Have you completed arrangements for Uncle Henry's party tonight?
Not quite, my dear, but I'll attend to it presently. I don't know why his bachelor friends insist on giving a man a party simply because he's going to get married. To me, that's exactly like feeding a bear a nice big antelope steak and then pushing him into a trap.
Why, Daddy, I'm surprised at you. Stag parties are an old American custom, and I think it's flattering that Uncle Henry's friends picked you to arrange the entertainment. This makes the third stag party you've arranged, doesn't it?
Counting the one he left at the altar, this makes number 4 for Uncle Henry. Now, you'd better run along to your class, Harriet. I've got several things to attend to.
All right, Daddy. Don't work too hard.
I'll try not to. There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight. This is the principal's office. Osgood Conklin himself speaking.
Hello, Mr. Conklin. This is Mitzi Leroy. Some friends of your brother-in-law told me you were planning a little celebration for him tonight.
Why, yes, we are going to have a party, but it's strictly stag.
That's strictly why I'm calling. You see, Mr. Conklin, I'm in the entertainment business. You were planning some entertainment for this evening, weren't you?
Yes. Yes, but frankly, I thought we'd provide our own merriment. One of the boys is quite competent on the cello. He's competent on the cello. And if I say so myself, I'm not a bad hand with the cornet.
What? No stereopticon views? Look, Mr. Conklin, your brother-in-law's friends have seen me dance at Star Theater, and they felt that I could provide just the sort of entertainment that would make your party tonight a big success.
Oh, you're a dancer. What kind of dances do you do, Miss Leroy?
Let's just say I think you'll be pleased. My fee for the evening is $50 plus an additional charge of $7.50.
What's that for?
Balloon insurance. Now, about my costume.
Just a minute. Just a minute. You'll have to excuse me now, Miss Leroy. I'll take up this matter of entertainment with some of the other fellows and then make my decision.
Oh, then you want me to contact you later?
That would be fine.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Conklin. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Come in. Come in.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Conklin. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. But I'm at my desk. You're talking to the umbrella stand.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's these drops in my eyes. Mr. Conklin, what's the matter with you?
What do you mean, what's the matter with me?
Your face is so white, and it's all wrinkled.
You're looking at the carnation in my buttonhole.
Oh, thank goodness. I didn't see how your head could be leaning against your shoulder like that. But this blurry vision should pass in a couple of hours, and then I can type up the notes you need for the PTA meeting tonight.
That won't be necessary, Miss Brooks. My new secretary is coming in this morning. Besides, I won't be addressing the PTA members tonight. There's another affair I have to attend.
Another affair?
Yes, my brother-in-law is getting married next week, and we're giving him a little party.
Oh, Henry. Who's the lucky fourth? I mean, who's going to address the PTA meeting if you don't show up?
Mr. Stone, the head of the Board of Education, has kindly consented to go in my place. He'll be over this afternoon to pick up my speech. Now, I've got to leave for a while, so I'll appoint Harriet to monitor your first class, and I'd like you to stay here and take charge of my office until the new secretary arrives.
Where are you going, Mr. Conklin?
We're just chock full of curiosity today, aren't we? It so happens that I have a little shopping to do for the party. Some of Henry's friends will expect a bit of punch. I'm going to get the fruit for it now. Peaches and things.
Be careful of that fruit, Mr. Conklin.
What do you mean?
Judging from the way your eyes looked after the last stag, you ran into some very bloodshot peaches.
Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream. It cleans your breath.
Water toothpaste.
Water cleans your teeth.
Colgate toothpaste.
Cleans your breath.
Water toothpaste.
Water cleans your teeth.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. And the Colgate way stops tooth decay best.
More than 2 years' research showed the Colgate way of brushing teeth right after eating helped stop more decay for more people than ever before reported in dentifrice history. Yes, the Colgate way stopped tooth decay best. Better than any other home method of oral hygiene.
No other dentifrice, ammoniated or not, has proof of such results. And you should know that Colgate, while not mentioned by name, was the only toothpaste used in the research on tooth decay recently reported in Reader's Digest.
So always use Colgates to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. And stop tooth decay best.
Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream. It cleans your breath.
Water toothpaste.
Water cleans your teeth.
And the Colgate way stops tooth decay best.
Well, when Mr. Conklin left to go shopping for his brother-in-law's stag party, I sat in his office and waited for A, his new secretary, and B, the effects of my eye drops to wear off. I got a good idea of the progress I was making when I answered a knock on his door. Come in. And what can I do for you, sir?
The first thing you can do is take another look.
What? Oh, it's a girl.
Congratulations.
You see, I've had some drops in my eyes, and they're still quite blurry. If you'll just take a seat, Miss...
Leroy, Mitzi Leroy. I talked to Mr. Conklin on the phone a little while ago.
Of course, he's been expecting you. I'm Miss Brooks. I teach English here.
Oh, glad to know you. Where is Mr. Conklin?
He should be back in a very short time. He's doing some shopping. Why don't you just make yourself comfortable, Miss Leroy?
Oh, well, I guess I might as well. Tell me, Miss Brooks, do you think Mr. Conklin will want to see a sample of my work?
Well, if I know our beloved principal, he'll want to see several samples.
Sounds like he's pretty hard to please.
Oh, you'll get used to him. I'm glad you got here, though. If you hadn't, I would have had to do your work for tonight. You? I might not look it, but I'm pretty efficient.
Well, you could have fooled me. What do you do? Teach English on the side?
Well, lately, that's been just about the size of it. I've had more outside work than I can handle.
What do you work with, Miss Brooks?
The usual tools of the trade. Some carbon paper and a typewriter.
Carbon paper and typewriter?
Of course, if it's a rush job, I just grind it out with a notebook and pencil.
Now, that's what I call a new wrinkle. How long have you been doing this sort of work?
Just this season. Mr. Conklin's had a tough time finding anybody.
Oh, he must be pretty particular.
He is rather temperamental. But if you don't mind a little shouting now and then, you'll get along fine.
Well, I'm used to that. I worked at an Elks convention last night.
Oh. There's the bell for another class. Now that you're here, I can run along. Is there anything I can get you before I go?
No, thanks. I've got everything I'll need in this bag. I'd certainly like to clinch this job.
There's only one way to do it, Miss Leroy. When Mr. Conklin gets back, you'll be all ready to work.
Miss Brooks, come on over to my table.
All right, Walter. My, the cafeteria's jammed as usual.
Yeah, that's why I like to get off in a corner and... Say, where did you get the tortoiseshell glasses?
I just borrowed them from Miss Richardson. They don't actually do anything for my vision, but I want to try an experiment.
Oh? Well, where is Mr. Boynton?
Mr. Boynton?
Sure. You want to see how he reacts if you really do have to wear glasses? Where is he?
He's coming through that aisle over there.
What aisle?
The same one you're leaving by. Find it on the table like a good boy.
Okay, Miss Brooks. I gotta look for Harriet Conklin anyway. I'll see you in the not-too-distant future.
Or the not-too-present present.
Oh, pardon me, Miss Brooks. Do you mind if I join you at this table?
Not at all, Mr. Boynton. I've been more or less expecting you.
Oh, good. Now, I'll just set this tray down. Oh, I certainly had a difficult morning. Some of those kids just flatly refused to learn biology.
So do some adults, I know. Well, now that you're here, Mr. Boynton, do you notice anything different?
Different?
Yes. Look closely.
Well, what do you know about that? They put a bottle of ketchup on every table.
That is pretty exciting, especially for people who have a red tooth. That's not what I had in mind. Mr. Boynton, do you remember how I looked yesterday?
At what?
Not at anything. I just want to know how I looked to you when you looked at me.
Well, you look fine.
Thank you. Now, how do I look to you today?
Fine.
Let's have a glass of ketchup.
I don't understand, Miss Brooks. Just what is it you'd like me to observe? Have you got a new hairdo, or did you manicure your nails in a different shade?
Oh, forget about it, Mr. Boynton. As a matter of fact, I'm delighted with the result of my little one-man quiz program. Now let's eat, huh?
Very well. My, that spinach of yours looks very appetizing. So nice and green.
That's corned beef hash. Spinach is this gray stuff over here.
Oh, by the way, Miss Brooks, there's something I meant to ask you when I first sat down at the table.
What's that, Mr. Boynton?
Why are you wearing Miss Richardson's glasses?
So you did notice them.
Oh, yes, they're quite becoming. As a matter of fact, they make you look much more mature.
Mature? But do you like me that way?
Of course, everything benefits with age.
I'm not ready for old age benefits. I mean, what about the girl I was? The gay, carefree, youthful girl.
Oh, I didn't know you then.
That does it. Hand me a blotter. I'm giving these eye drops back to the optometrist.
You mean you've been examined for glasses, Miss Brooks?
Mr. Conklin insisted, but I still think he's wrong.
Excuse me, Mr. Boynton. Miss Brooks, there's something I gotta tell you.
What's the trouble, Walter? You look as if you'd seen a ghost.
I looked into Mr. Conklin's office for Harriet, and believe me, what I just saw was no ghost.
What did you see?
Holy cow!
Oh, now calm down, Walter. I presume you're referring to Mr. Conklin's new secretary.
If she's a secretary, I'm going to study to be a principal. Boy, what beautiful little feet she's got.
Is that all you noticed?
Oh, her dress was beautiful, too. I saw it hanging in the closet. Yeah, she's wearing a French bathing suit. Don't you see, Miss Brooks? She's no secretary. She's a dancer. She told me she was trying to get a job entertaining tonight at a party Mr. Conklin's giving for his brother-in-law.
His brother-in-law?
Henry. He's a 4-time loser. You stay right here, Walter. Mr. Boynton, you and I have got to get that girl out of Mr. Conklin's office before he comes back.
But, Miss Brooks...
There's no time to argue. Mr. Stone is coming over here today, too.
The head of the Board of Education? Gosh, if he sees what I saw, he'll flip what's left of his wig.
This sounds like a crisis. We better take a look at this creature.
Darn those optometrists. They never know whose eyes to put the drops in. We can't just burst into Mr. Conklin's office, Mr. Boynton. He may have returned.
You're right, Miss Brooks. I'd better knock.
Come in.
Well, that doesn't sound like Mr. Conklin.
Well, hello.
Holy cow!
Miss Leroy, what are you doing in that French bathing suit?
Blowing up my balloon. I work with several of them.
Oh, but there's been a terrible misunderstanding. You've got to leave here at once.
Oh, what's the hurry, honey? Don't you think you should introduce me to your friends?
No, I don't.
That isn't very polite, Miss Brooks. Miss Leroy, my name is Philip Boynton. I teach biology here.
What time?
Please, Miss Leroy, you ought to put some more clothes on. She'll catch her death of cold that way, don't you think so, Miss Brooks?
Yes, but not soon enough. Now, where are your things, Miss Leroy? I'll help you get dressed.
Oh, they're on that chair by the desk. But I've got to do an audition for this job tonight. You told me yourself to get ready, Miss Brooks.
That's when I thought you were a secretary. Now, will you please put your dress on?
Oh, it's too late, Miss Brooks. Mr. Conklin's just coming in the front door. I saw him through the window.
Well, it's about time he showed up.
Oh, hello, Miss Brooks, Mr. Boynton.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Conklin.
Holy
Miss Brooks, I left you in charge of this office. What is this woman doing here in that getup?
She's just blowing up her balloon.
I'm Missy Leroy.
Leroy, Mr. Conklin. I spoke to you on the phone, don't you remember?
The balloon dancer? But how did you get in here?
Miss Brooks let me in. She's the one who told me to get ready for my audition.
That was when my eyes were still blurred from the drops this morning, Mr. Conklin. I thought
You and your lame excuses. Do you realize that Mr. Stone is due here any moment to pick up a speech I wrote for the PTA meeting tonight?
But, Mr. Conklin...
And do you realize further that the title of that speech is Propriety in Our Schools?
Holy smoke!
Well, that's a switch on Holy Cow.
How am I going to explain this woman to Mr. Stone?
Well, maybe we could say she's one of the students, Mr. Conklin.
One of the students? Standing in my office in a French bathing suit?
We could say she just got out of French class.
That's Mr. Stone now. Miss Leroy, please, you've got to hide.
Hide? But where?
In my closet. That's it. Take your balloons and get in that coat closet.
Oh, but it's dark in there. I'm afraid to stay in the dark alone.
If you want me to, I'll go into the closet with her, Mr. Conklin.
Over my dead body. It'll just take a few minutes, Miss Leroy, and you'll be...
I'll be right there. Please, Miss Leroy, I'll engage you for tonight's party for any fee you name if you'll just get into that closet and stay there.
Oh, well, if it's really a deal, I might as well cooperate. But try and make it snappy, will you? I'm getting a little chilly.
Now, whatever you do, please help me get rid of Mr. Stone in a hurry.
We'll do our best, Mr. Conklin.
I'll let him in. Well, look who's here, Mr. Conklin. It's Mr. Stone.
Why, so it is.
Who were you expecting, Gypsy Rose Lee?
Gypsy Rose Lee. That's a good one.
Quiet, Boynton, quiet. Mr. Boynton and Miss Brooks were just discussing some details of the PTA meeting tonight, Mr. Stone. But unfortunately, my new secretary hasn't arrived, so the notes aren't typed up.
However, if you'll come back in an hour, I'll have them all ready for you. Goodbye, Mr. Stone.
I'll walk you to the door if you like.
Now, not so fast. I'd like to sit down and chat for a moment, Osgood.
Sit down? Very well. Sit right here by my desk, Mr. Stone. I'll just take these silk stockings and other garments off.
Silk stockings. What is all this feminine apparel doing in your office, Osgood?
Feminine apparel?
Oh, that must be the stuff you just bought for your wife, Mr. Conklin.
Yes, the clothing you were telling us about.
None of this is wrapped, and those garments look as if they've just been worn.
Well, Mr. Conklin and his wife are both the same size, and somebody's got to try. Now, you finished chatting with Mr. Conklin.
I have not finished.
Gesundheit.
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 Now, about this speech you've written, Osgood, Now, wait a minute. That's very strange.
What's very strange?
There were 4 Gesundheits and only 1 sneeze. If all 4 of us said Gesundheit, who sneezed?
Well, it was probably just an auditory illusion, Mr. Stone. Sometimes... Gesundheit.
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 I pass. I must be catching a cold.
That sounded like it came from the coat closet.
The coat closet? Oh, please, Mr. Stone. I know it's drafty in there, but who ever heard of a moth sneezing?
Yeah, who ever heard of a moth sneezing? That's rich.
Bless me, bless me.
One of those sneezes came from inside that closet.
Oh, but that's absurd, Mr. Stone. Now, let me tell you about the speech tonight. In it, I have shown conclusively, I believe, that overly progressive methods of running a school are not always the best. No, indeed. That's one bubble I have always tried to burst.
Something funny going on here, and I'm going to find out what it is. Come out of that closet, whoever you are.
Why, hello, Mr. Stone.
Holy cow!
Walter was right. There goes what's left of his wig.
Explain to Mr. Stone.
Oh, you don't have to explain who I am to Mr. Stone. I'm sure he remembers little Mitzi from the Elks convention he attended last week.
Hello, Mitzi.
Oh, so you know each other.
Oh, certainly. Mr. Stone and I got acquainted at that convention. but I'd better be getting on home now. Can somebody give me a lift?
Well, I'll be glad to drive you if you have no transportation.
If she has no transportation, he says. Listen, Mr. Boynton, Mr. Stone can drive Miss Leroy home. They're fellow Elks.
But I joined our local lodge the other night. That makes me a brand new elk, too.
Well, if you want to live to be an old elk, you'll keep your antlers out of this whole deal.
As our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment, but first, dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight? Yes, tonight. Show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Luster Cream, world's finest shampoo. No other shampoo in the world gives you Kay Daumit's magic blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Better than a soap, better than a liquid, Luster Cream is a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair 3 ways lovelier. Fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen, soft, manageable. Even in hardest water, Luster Cream lathers instantly. No special rinse needed after a Luster Cream shampoo. So gentle, Luster Cream is wonderful even for children's hair. Tonight? Yes, tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo. And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, as soon as I got home after school, I told Mrs. Davis all about the day's events. And when I had finished, she clucked sympathetically.
Cluck, 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 what a day. But at least you've still got a pleasant evening to look forward to. You've got a date with Mr. Boynton, haven't you?
I thought I did, but he just called to tell me he's going to the party Mr. Conklin's giving for his brother-in-law. On top of that, the new secretary never did show up, so I'll be saddled with all that extra work this week.
That's too bad, Connie. But I'm particularly sorry to hear that you have no date for tonight.
It's just as well, Mrs. Davis. It'll give me a chance to practice.
Practice what, Connie? Typing?
No, blowing up a balloon without getting too winded to dance.
This is Vern Smith reminding you to tune in next week to another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written by Al Lewis with the music of Wilbur Hatch.
Doctors prove Palmolive soap can bring you a lovelier complexion in 14 days. Yes, 36 leading skin specialists proved in tests on 1,285 different women that Palmolive soap facials, using nothing but Palmolive, brought new complexion beauty to 2 women out of 3. Just wash your face 3 times daily with Palmolive soap, each time for 60 seconds, massaging Palmolive's beauty lather onto your skin. Then rinse and pat dry. So start your Palmolive facials today. Remember, doctors prove Palmolive soap can bring you a lovelier complexion in 14 days.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.